As artificial intelligence continues to capture the attention of the world, new forms have burst onto the scene, creating an ongoing game of catch up for organizations everywhere. Now, one of the most significant and disruptive forms of AI is generative AI. Now, feed generative AI a very simple or complex prompt, and its ability to mimic human cognitive processes delivers on the spot responses that can be carefully refined by further input. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Analytics Insight podcast, where we talk about the ever evolving tech space. And I'm your host, Priya Dialani. Now, Gartner sees generative AI becoming a general purpose technology with an impact similar to that of the steam engine, electricity, and the internet. Now, the hype will subside as the reality of implementation sets in, but the impact of generative AI will grow as people and enterprises discover more innovative applications for the technology in daily work and life. Now, today, to gain more insights around generative AI and how we can probably integrate this cutting edge technology effectively in our daily business operations, let's welcome Sagar P.V, CTO at Mindsprint. Hi, Sagar, how are you doing?
Yeah, hi, Priya. I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Great. Thank you so much, Sagar, for taking out the time and being here on the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you with us. And of course, we will be talking more about generative AI and, its future trends or what are certain implications of these technologies. But, before that, we would like to know more about Mindsprint. So if you could help our listeners understand what exactly the company is into, or, are there any special services or a particular specialization the company follows?
Absolutely. So Mindsprint is a fast-growing technology and business solution provider, delivering advanced digital solutions to our global customers. So we actually transitioned from being a captive model, but our philosophy has always remained the same, right? To do purpose-built solutions that drive business outcomes. Now, that makes us or puts us in a bit of a unique position, right, where we bring the best of the two worlds. The reason why I say that is because of our journey from being a captive shared services tech arm of a 40 billion large organization, food and agri commodity trading organization, to a very forward-looking IT services organization. And that has actually shaped our ability to deliver impactful and enterprise-grade transformations for our customers. Now, our specialization has been in building scalable, flexible, and industry-specific tech solutions, which drives transformation in the customer organization across key sectors like food and agri, retail and CPG, consumer goods, and manufacturing, and healthcare and life science. What we do is we use the deep expertise in these domains, and we craft end-to-end solutions that helps our customers and their businesses to stay ahead of the curve. Our capabilities includes starting from intelligent automation to advanced AI, including Gen AI, the topic that we would speak about today, building purposeful digital products and platforms for our customers and taking them to the cloud. What we do is in the process, we try to empower our customers and the larger enterprises to make data-driven decisions, and in the process help them to optimize their operations and unlock new growth opportunities for the customers. Mindsprint always have been built with the philosophy of innovative or innovation first culture, and has been very entrepreneurial in its journey so far. So that's the two key aspects that differentiates us from a lot of our competitors in the market. And obviously that helps us to deliver great outcomes for our customers, but also helps our employees to shape their career in this organization. So that's a bit of a brief about what Mindsprint does.
Great. Thank you for that insightful introduction. And it's really fascinating to hear how Mindsprint is driving innovation in a digital transformation era. And of course, given the rapid advancements in technology, particularly in artificial intelligence and automation, I think it's really crucial for organizations to stay ahead of the curve. And that's where I think Mindsprint can come into picture with its strong foundation and expertise, I would say. Having said that, Sagar, we would also like to know more about you. So if you could, tell us more about yourself, how has your journey been till date? And what exactly is your role towards Mindsprint, or what triggered your interest at Mindsprint?
So I've been in this industry for close to 25 years now, and I can say that I was some of the fortunate ones who got to play different roles as in the last 2 decades and a half. So I've done wide variety of roles, starting from being a hardcore technologist, playing the role across business consulting, domain consulting. I have spearheaded multi-year large product rollouts, and in my previous experiences, I have built practices grounds up. And in the recent work that I'm doing in Mindsprint, or the role that I'm playing in Mindsprint, is to basically be part of the core team of the leadership, which is transitioning a captive services organization to a fast forward looking IT services organization, right? So that's exactly that's an exciting journey where we are part of creating something create value for our customers. Take the goodness that we have created as being an IT captive organization for over a couple of decades, and how do we use some of the business solutions, the platforms, and become a more asset-led IT services organization for the future, right? So that's what the primary focus for me in Mindsprint is. And in my current role as the Chief Technology Officer for Mindsprint, I wear multiple hats. The first role that I have is around being the technology evangelist. So the technology and innovation charter for the organization is with me and my team. So we focus on emerging tech. We do a lot of experimentation. We fail in many of the experimentation. We succeed in some of them. But the idea is to identify the potential of the new technology that is emerging in the industry, and how to use that to solve some of the business problems that we have, both from what we perceive from the industry perspective, as well as for our existing customer base. The second role that I have is I lead all the practices from the go-to-market perspective. So building the capabilities that we have, strengthening the capabilities that we have currently, and then incubate newer capabilities which we can take it to the market is an additional responsibility that I have. The third hat that I wear is leading the overall pursuit management, along with a smart bunch of solution architects, enterprise architects, who work very closely with the bid management team to create innovative solutions and value propositions for our customers. And the last role that I play for the organization is the overall internal IT, which is the enterprise IT that does the work for Mindsprint, also is managed by me and my team. So these are the four hats that I wear, but as being part of the executive committee of the organization, I play a significant role in driving change. As you know, the industry is changing very fast. The technology is changing at an unprecedented pace. And this requires an organization of 3,000 plus employees to also change according to the way the industry is changing. So a lot of the change management, change related initiatives also I lead for the organization.
Great. That's pretty much impressive. Sagar, thank you for sharing your journey and the kind of different roles you have taken up in order to drive more innovation at Mindsprint. It's really fascinating to understand your expertise and your. I think that's what's shaping the company's strategic direction in terms of more tech innovations and development. Moving ahead, I think organizations have, I mean, it was in 2023, the year which discovered when the world discovered the power of generative AI. And it was in 2024 where organizations truly began using AI and deriving more business value from this new technology. So I was just reading this recent report by McKinsey, which stated that 65% of the respondents report that their organizations are generally or often using generative AI. And of course, they're also being able to see material benefits like reporting both cost decreases and revenue jumps in the business units when deploying this technology. So I think the benefits of generative AI are plenty, which include faster product development, enhanced customer experience, and improved employee productivity. But again, the specifics or the benefits depends on the use case eventually. So how do you think that generative AI can deliver similar value or output when it comes to solving highly specialized industry challenges?
Yeah, very good question. So I think over the last, I know that AI has been in the industry for quite some time, not just 2023, but much before that. But I think the whole generative AI completely disrupted the industry. But over the last many years, right, we have taken multiple AI solutions from just doing the proof of concepts to moving them to production, and then we call that as an enterprise grade solutions, right? So I think um, the whole purpose of using technology is to solve business issues, right? And obviously we can build certain proof of concepts, but unless we put in the hands of the business users, we will not leverage the true value of it, right? So that has been the philosophy with which we started leveraging Gen AI. Now started using LLMs, and now agentic AI. How do we pick certain use cases which actually can go very deep in the business processes and help them to become more productive, help them to do their job with better quality, and so on and so forth. So in the process, we have built multiple solutions which are in the areas like finance, procurement, in the legal function, and being an IT services organization, we have a large engineering group. So how do we help the engineering organization to do their job much faster with better quality is also has been a focus for us. Now, we have been leveraging AI, and we have started leveraging agentic AI also to scale our innovation through autonomy, to ensure that AI is just not an assistant for you, but it is also a decision-taking agent for you, right? So in the process, obviously, I'll take few examples of the solutions that we have built. So if we created a AI procurement solution for the organization, for one of our customer, which helps. So what does it do? Is it typically helps the procurement team to help in the supplier selection, help to do a supplier negotiation, and help in the process optimize the cost and the contract compliance. So this platform was primarily, or this particular solution was primarily built using conventional AI ML in the initial days. Then we used RAG and workflow automation, keeping human in the loop. And with the recent advent of agentic AI, we were able to automate multiple business workflow, so that the job that typically a procurement manager does can be reduced to half, right? Now, because of that, the procurement manager is able to do a very high value task and able to do more work with lesser time. So that was one solution which we did for procurement function. Similarly, for finance, especially if you look at some of the large trading organizations, which are some of our customers, they always grapple with the idea of how much liquidity they should keep in their hand, right? Because keeping large amount of liquidity is obviously a loss of dollars, because you are losing interest on the liquidity. So we created a solution, we call it as cash forecasting solution, which is again built on AI, that helps our finance team to predict the liquidity that they would need to keep. And with the help of agentic AI, now we are able to automate some of the processes around, including releasing or making certain cash transfers based on certain thresholds with obviously human in the loop, right? And that actually, it has saved millions of dollars for our customers. Another one which we did for our enabling function, which is legal, because typically in any enterprise you go, you will find legal as a very small unit. And if an enterprise is dealing with large amount of suppliers, vendors, they get bogged down by the amount of contracts that they have to work with, right? So we built again a legal AI solution that helps them to redline your contract against the baseline that we have given them. It also helps to highlight any kind of infringement which can be detected against a particular product specs. And with agentic AI, we were able to enhance the solution to continuously scan the regulatory updates and the policy updates and flag any kind of a compliance risk. So the reason why I'm picking up some of these hardcore business processes is because many organizations have done workflow automations and engineer productivity improvement and so on and so forth. But unless we take some of these AI solutions and, as you asked, like take it to the highly specialized industries, it will not create the value that it is supposed to create, right? So that's exactly what we have done, and that's where a lot of customers like to work with us, because with our deep knowledge in some of these core domains, we are able to actually create value with the use of technology.
Great. Thank you for sharing some really insightful pointers, Sagar, and of course giving those examples at what different technologies and solutions the Mindsprint is offering, and how it is kind of trying to change the monotonous or the mainstream business operations that we have been using till date. And of course, I think given that every sector has its own unique complexities, whether it's finance, healthcare, or manufacturing, I think it's pretty much clear that a one size fits all AI solution won't cut it in today's era, and where everything is changing rapidly. I also believe that lately you have announced the expansion of Mindverse, a cutting edge generative AI solution accelerator. Just for our listeners, Mindverse has proven to be a reliable and valuable tool for enterprise operations. Its practical solutions include data intelligence, document interactor, intelligent chatbots, customer feedback analytics, recommendation engines, language translation, and even content generation. So, Sagar, just want to ensure when we're talking about Mindverse, how do you ensure that the generative AI models are robust, scalable, and also aligned with the user needs?
So Mindverse, I think it's a platform that we have built, and I mentioned about creating enterprise grade solutions, right? Which requires obviously a deep functional knowledge, which just by working with your customers, working with your business functions, we are able to work in a very collaborative way. We can understand the business needs, and the technology prowess comes from our side, right? And in the process, I think when we go to a particular business and say that, hey, we will use AI or we use advanced AI for transforming your business, the first reaction is to that don't mess up anything which is currently working, right? So it requires a lot of governance. It requires a lot of the basic apprehensions around the security, data security, the amount of drifting that would happen, and the risk exposure, right? So obviously that made us think about how do we create more of a platform-based approach rather than just attacking every problem in silo, right? So that's where this whole idea of Mindverse came into picture. And what we did was we created a platform which does take care of the basic AI scaffolding, or which can be shared, right? So when we create a scaffolding which can be shared for the larger organization, you are creating a platform where you can plug and play multiple AI solutions for solving a particular business problem, right? So that's what Mindverse in its core is, right? We created a platform where the basic nuances around data security, compliance, encryption of data, all got taken care of. So when you're building multiple solutions, every team doesn't have to take care or think on those lines, right? So that has been taken care. You can easily reuse some of those aspects and build your solution on top of that. Now, obviously, we use Mindverse as a marketplace internally for Mindsprint because it's a platform where all the AI solutions which we have built, both for our engineering team as well as for our enabling functions, as well as for a lot of our customers, we have put that as a marketplace, right, where it can become a reusable assets for scaling the solutions across business processes, different business processes. Right now, some of the examples that you mentioned around document interactors. So if you have a document and you say 30 MB document and you want to interact with the document, we have a solution. You just upload the document and you can start asking questions, right? So that's your document interactor. Similarly, for any kind of an IT policy, you put that IT policy document into the place, or you can give a SharePoint link to this particular platform, and then you can start interacting with your and ask certain questions, like on a chat bot for inquiring about the IT policies. It could be HR policies and so on and so forth. Similarly, created a document translator, which translates documents into 100+ languages, and many solutions does that, but we try to preserve the original context and the flavor of the document, so that when the document undergoes conversion, it doesn't lose the context, right? Similarly, there are solutions like which does automated product recommendation, which, for example, if you have based on the personalization against a particular past historical data around sales for a particular customer base, we can have a very highly personalized recommendation engine created. That is one of the plug and play solution that we have. Another one, which we call it as material classification, which comes very handy in the manufacturing industry, is for classifying a particular material under different categories. Completely Gen AI based solution, and that has taken the accuracy level from 40%, which typically happens when we do it manually, versus around 98-99%, which is Gen AI driven, right? And this is helping many of our customers to create spend cube analytics around where do you spend, or which material you spend the most in an organization, right? So we started off with 2 solutions, then we scaled up to around 10, and now it has become a marketplace with more than 25 plus solutions that are hosted on Mindverse as a platform. And how it is helping us is, whenever any new solution or a new customer ask comes, we have a reusable assets which we are able to leverage for the benefit of the customer. So that Mindverse, in short, is a platform that has taken care of the security, the confidentiality, the compliance, and in the process has helped us to democratize the overall spread of AI solution across the enterprise and for all our customers as well.
Well, that was pretty much insightful, and thank you for sharing about Mindverse and what are certain strategies or what are certain things that you kind of take place at Mindsprint to ensure that the generative AI models are robust and scalable. And of course, when we are talking about generative AI models, I think ensuring robustness and scalability is no small feat. And it's really fascinating to hear how Mindverse is addressing these challenges, but also ensuring that they're meeting user needs as well. Of course, when we're talking about user needs, and especially in an AI-driven world, I think people want more than just a general offerings or services or piece of advice. I think people are increasingly wanting more personalized services which are tailored to their unique preferences or interests or a certain aspect of their lives. So the idea of these uniquely personalized experiences is transforming how businesses interact with them and how people are living their daily lives. But with the help of AI, and in particular generative AI, I think companies are now able to create these deeply personalized experiences, which we are nowadays calling it as hyper personalized products and services or hyper personalized experiences. So, how do you think that generative AI is one of the enabler or is one of the drivers of, driving the hyper personalized products and services trend?
Of course, I think one of the earliest use cases of Gen AI was primarily around how do we create the content, how do we personalize those content for a specific customer base, right? And I think obviously multiple industries have taken that approach to personalize that, and that is helping them for better customer reach outs, customer acquisitions, doing better customer engagement on a real time basis, right? But if you take a step back right now, I think this generative AI and no industry is going to be spared for any kind of I would say that no industry is going to can say that, okay, we are not impacted by generative AI or impacted by this technology, right? So every industry is going to get impacted by generative AI, which however, what are the initial use cases which would be relevant or meaningful in every industry would vary. Now, the topic about hyper personalized products and services is quite prevalent in industries like retail and say travel and hospitality, banking sector, right, where you need to have a very unique way of reaching out to your new customer base and attracting them towards to your product, right? So that's typically your customer acquisition cycle. And once you have got the customer, it's very important to retain the customer, and that is possible if you are able to engage with the customer in meaningful way. Now, the customers have become more and more demanding. They expect that when we reach out, when any organization does the reach out, they have all the information around the taste, around the selection of the products, their past historical purchases, and you cannot start with the basic conversations with the customer that what do you like from us, right? So that's where this whole hyper personalization comes into play. If you have a strong customer data, if you have a strong data around their past historical spends, it becomes much easier for any enterprise to curate the content with the help of AI, of course, and do a meaningful reach out. And once you have the customer on board, then you can use your AI chatbots. You can use AI assistants, solutions like Amazon Rufus, which helps you to basically look at the past interactions, the overall sentiment of the customer interactions, and take certain actions to improve the overall engagement. And I spoke about Mindverse as a solution about the product recommendation, right? So again, customer data profiling. How do we use that data to create segmentation of customer, and then based on the historical trends, how do we recommend certain products which would be of area of interest for them? So retail, for example, is an industry where retail and travel and hospitality is primarily an industry. I would say to a certain extent, retail banking as well, where you see personalization of products, personalization in the reach out from the customer acquisition and customer engagement is where the Gen AI is taking a very meaningful role, or playing a very meaningful role, right? But if you look at, say, for example, healthcare, or healthcare life science as an industry, right, where most of the enterprises are looking at using AI, Gen AI, and the large language models to reduce the time that typically it takes in their current processes, which are around clinical trials, around drug discovery. How do we engage with the patient? How do we engage with the pharma companies, and so on and so forth, right? So for the context of personalization would vary when you move to an industry like healthcare life science. So how do we engage with the patient on their wellness journey, right? How do we engage with them to ensure that they get the right medication at the right time? How do we create the awareness on certain disease to a certain group of people who are more eligible to prone to get that disease because of certain demographic situations? So that becomes a more of a personalized touch points for certain industries like healthcare and life science. And for example, now if you shift bit and then go to manufacturing industries, most of the industries are looking how do they streamline their and get more visibility across their supply chain, and using AI at the edge, right, which is like looking at the manufacturing plans for doing predictive maintenance. For them, the customer is the shop floor manager, shop floor engineer, and how do we touch the life of those for manufacturing client? They become their employees, becomes a customer, right? So because what you produce is what you're going to sell. So how are we using AI to make the life of your shop floor managers and shop floor engineers better with predictive maintenance and giving the operational excellence data in their hands is another way to look at from the hyper personalization perspective. And across different industries, different use cases, but I think the theme of hyper personalization and getting the right data in the hands of the users is very important, and AI has a significant role to play in this space.
Well, I completely agree with you that AI is definitely playing a very important role in terms of how we are delivering personalized experiences. And of course, some of the industries that you mentioned definitely makes a lot of sense. Because in today's world, if personalization is something a particular organization or a company is not offering, it becomes very difficult for them to make a mark in the industry, as well as earn that customer trust, which of course comes when you're able to give personalization, or what we call as a hyper personalized services. So I think at the end of the day, whether we are talking about how we can build generative AI models more robust or scalable, or how we are probably ensuring transparency and accountability, it's all about eliminating the black box mystery of AI and providing insight into how and why of AI decision making. Now, as extraordinary as these advances are, and also with generative AI coming into picture, I think we have a long way to go in terms of what new advances probably we can bring up in terms of AI's potential. So for you, Sagar, what does the next frontier of generative AI looks like in your opinion, or what do you think is more beyond generative AI that we can expect in the coming years?
I think all of us have to look at AI as a force multiplier right now. I think there is a lot of debate happening in the industry that AI will replace jobs. So my personal opinion is the future isn't about AI replacing jobs. It's about AI changing the jobs, right? So it will every role will undergo a certain change, and every role which currently is performed by human will continue to be performed by human to a certain extent. But how much of work is spent in doing the current mundane work versus what is the value work that a person would be able to do would vary, right? Now, The enterprises that are embracing AI as an augmentation tool, doing significant investment in AI talent development, and also for fostering the culture of human and machine collaboration are the ones which will help us or which will lead in the innovation in the coming years, right? So for me, the next frontier of generative AI would be obviously, in my view, where AI evolves into an active partner in business processes. It complements human ingenuity and boosting productivity across all sectors. Right? We should be there. There should not be an industry which we should say that AI is not applicable for us. And then obviously with the advent of agentic AI, I think the overall the scope of automation, the scope of workflow automation is going to be immense. So if there are a few things that we need to watch out for. One is obviously the technology is changing at a very unprecedented pace, right? I spoke about that. There is a chance that there's a possibility that there could be fatigue in the industry, right? There are so many models that come every week, every month, and that which disrupts the ones which has come earlier, right? There are so many agentic AI frameworks which keeps coming, and everyone has an opinion about that. So it's creating a lot of churn and on the technology, a lot of, I would say, proliferation in every organization's IT landscape, right? There are plenty of tools, plenty of frameworks getting used, and it's important for the fatigue not to set in especially in the organizations which are progressive and experimenting a lot in this space. So there has to be a core group, a technology evangelist group, which in every organization who actually separates the noise. Sometimes it has a lot of noise with more and more tools coming in the industry. How do we separate the noise and make the best use of technology to solve business problems, right? So that should be one focus from most of the organization. Second is on the change management, right, which is typically an area which gets left out. People build amazing AI solutions, but if it has to go in the hands of the end users, it requires change management, and a well curated change management is important when you take certain solutions to the hands of finance teams, to the hands of procurement team, to the supply chain managers, and so on and so forth. So it's important. Every enterprise looks at change management as a serious topic when if they want to scale AI solution in future. And the third point that I would say is the future of Gen AI lies in the collaboration of human creativity, right? Or I would say the future of Gen AI lies in the collaboration with human creativity. So rather than thinking that AI is going to replace human, we should think that it enhances the capabilities and redefines the productivity metrics and the operational excellence within the organization, right? So I think the enterprises should embrace this human and machine interaction more and more, and we will see a lot of value coming out of this technology, which is AI, and anything associated with AI is going to have a significant impact in every industry and every organization.
Well, yes, I completely agree with you, Sagar, that eventually the ultimate purpose of using these technologies like generative AI is to ultimately enhance human capabilities and ensure that there's a systematic and a very sophisticated human machine collaboration, because that is what we eventually, as humans, expect. And eventually, it's all about augmenting human capabilities. And of course, I think it is a very exciting time for organizations, to step forward into these Gen AI use cases. And there is a momentum now that shouldn't be ignored, because I think Gen AI has already proved its value in basic tasks. So I think in the coming years, where we'll be probably using generative AI for complex industrial challenges, I think we're definitely going to see more success there. And with the right controls and an economy with complex activities powered by Gen AI could be the next frontier. And it is time that, truly innovative organizations to step in and take responsible steps into this future. Well, thank you so much, Sagar. It was a pleasure having you with us on a podcast today. And thank you for giving us some very interesting insights about Gen AI use cases, helping us understand about Mindverse capabilities, and of course, what could be the future with Gen AI. So, thank you so much for your time and effort. It was lovely interacting with you.
Thanks, Priya. It was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sagar. Thank you. So, this is for our listeners. Stay tuned for upcoming podcasts, and you can view all our previous podcasts on Spotify and other leading platforms. Thank you so much.